Machismo is a rule book for how to be a man, written by men who are terrified of men just like you and me. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the JK But Gay Show. We are talking all about machismo today, which is why we're in our most masculine outfits. We wanted to wear something, a little bit more masculine for you all because we want to show how much we have machismo in our blood and our bones. But hi, Jake.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How has your week been?
My week has been good. My week has been good. My weekend's been good. Yeah. I went to a concert yesterday. It
looked really good.
I had a good time.
Meanwhile, I was just at home watching movies, watching Netflix.
What'd you do all weekend?
Watch movies, watch Netflix.
Oh.
and getting ready for my new house.
Yeah.
Which I'm super excited.
You know what's funny? Because we recorded a bunch of episodes all together.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, this motherfucker been moving in the house for 3 months.
Right. I promise you. We're filming within a couple of days.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, we're actually really excited to talk about this topic because machismo plays a big role in our communities. And when I say community, I mean in the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
And the Latino community, especially. The word macho comes from the Latino community.
Right.
And so does the word machismo. But just before we get started, I wrote down a definition that I thought worked for us to kind of give you all an idea of what we mean when we say machismo. And machismo really is a cultural belief that a man's worth comes from dominance and strength and emotional control. And sometimes that can be in expense of things like vulnerability, equality, and even self-expression, which is what we are actively fighting against with self-expression.
All the time.
And so I saw a definition that I really liked when we were looking up machismo and like how we wanted to frame this episode. And it was a definition that said that machismo is a rule book for how to be a man, written by men who are terrified of men just like you and me. And it really is because the
show yourself.
Yeah, the men that are like the men that are really hard about machismo or like felt that way are usually like anti-gay.
Yes,
because we are the antithesis of everything that they stand for,
and that they can't be
right.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, you're
right.
You're in the closet with your own emotions.
Yeah, and it's not to say that they are closeted. You mean closeted in emotions, but
correct. Not as in the.
It's not to say that they're in the closet. Or it's the freedom that scares them.
Right.
It's the idea.
The free to be themselves, the free to actually feel things.
Right.
I feel.
And I think for a long time because of where the feeling to feel things. You're a philosopher now. You know what?
Right.
You can move by yourself. You can start your own podcast.
Jay, but gay.
Just Jay. You don't need to be gay anymore. You moved past it. You've risen above.
It's just Jay.
You've risen above.
And the gays in fine print. Joto.
Right. But yeah, so that's why we were excited about this because I think even though we might not talk about it as often with each other and think about it with ourselves, machismo played a big role in our growing up.
Yeah.
And the way that we see ourselves and the way that we act in the world today. So that's why we wanted to spend some time talking about it today. But just to get started, how did machismo show up with you growing up or how did you experience it?
Yeah, and I think it wasn't necessarily something that was said to me like all the time, like directly. And I'm going to speak from like my growing up as it relates to how I was spoken to, like from my parents or like how they treated me. Just because I know like in the culture, men don't cry or men don't wear pink, and I'm like things like that were never really said to me directly.
Right,
but it's everything that I learned indirectly. Yeah, that like. It's hard for me to cry, and it's not that I don't feel it. Like I feel the need or like that. I don't want to say.
What's funny?
A lot.
While you're saying that, I feel like you are much more emotional than me, but I cry more than you.
So yes, because I honestly do think that too. Because I will take on like not only my emotions, but I will take on other people's emotions.
Yeah, and
then like just be in my head about it. But I think that also comes from machismo in this. It comes from the Latino culture for me specifically, not necessarily the queer space yet, but we'll get to that. I know like how it is being a queer individual, but growing up, it was more of that, like you don't necessarily show your emotions or you don't cry. I was never told not to cry.
Right.
But I was also like I never really saw my mom or my dad. Well, I saw my dad more so. My dad was definitely my dad's been breaking stereotypes from day one, which I really love.
Yeah.
But like from my mom, I learned a lot from her because she never did.
Yeah.
She never cried. The lack of not being emotional also has come into my space and how I am now of just being afraid to cry. Yeah. And it's just like I hold it back. I hold back from it so much. And I am learning day in and day out on how to break it.
And there's not a one unique way to show emotion. There really isn't.
Right. Oh,
but the reason why I bring it up is
purpose,
because you actively tell yourself you cannot do it.
Right.
You cannot cry.
Right.
That is when you realize that it might be a part of your emotional regulation, but it's something that you are refusing to do for yourself.
Right. And there are moments like even when we're filming, right? Like, I mean, not right now, but there have been moments, and I know you noticed it when like I
broke you last time.
Cry.
I broke him last week. I didn't say a thing. I just let you do it. And you did it on your own.
But like even in that moment, like I could have been Kim Kardashian crying, like sobbing, but like there is something inside of me, and that's where I'm still trying to figure out and trying to unlearn. Of like,
is it the camera?
I don't think so because like
no, that's not what I mean. What I mean is it the fact that you know someone's gonna see you cry.
Potentially.
Got it.
Actually, probably yes.
Okay.
Because even like I'll use like if I'm at home with my husband watching a movie and the movie is sad, right? Like if I'm watching Air Bud, like I will.
Not Air Bud. All these movies you could have picked, you said Air Bud
because that was the first movie I remember crying on. Like
wow,
like when he threw the yogurt, I was like, oh my gosh, like don't leave him. Like
I can't say I remember this, but yeah, we won't.
We're gonna go watch Air Bud now.
Yeah.
But like even when I'm watching a movie, like even with my husband, I will be like crying, but I'll be in the pillows of the couch, like, don't look at me.
In your house?
Yeah. Like I'll cry, but like I don't want people to look at me. And so probably with that being said, I think because I know that people will be watching it, and also because like even with you being here, like I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
Not because of that came out.
Because you're here, I don't want to cry. The reason
it's your fault.
One thing that I do notice though is that it is a part of your emotional regulation because I've seen you. There was one time when we were filming. I don't know if you remember this. It was right before we were filming one of the previous episodes, and I was telling you about a week that I was having.
Yes.
And you started crying, but I could tell that it was an anger cry.
Yeah.
And I could see it in your face, and I was like, "Oh, he's mad." And so I knew that's when I learned that you naturally regulate that way if you're mad or if you're sad.
If I am mad, my immediate emotion is to cry.
Yeah.
Like that is what I want to do.
Mine's to fight.
Oh no, I'm like I'm going. Actually, well, there is an instance where I'm like, maybe I do want to fight, but majority of the time I want to just get away from. I'm gonna disengage. Yeah, and I'm gonna go cry. Yeah, like because that's how when I get that mad.
For me, when I was growing up, I don't think it was never anything that someone told me. It wasn't like my dad. My dad is. I feel like my dad has a lot of machismo traits, but he didn't pass it on to at least to me. Yeah. I never felt like he was doing anything to make me feel like I needed to be a certain way. All my dad cared about is if you went to school, got your grades, and that was it. That was like, everything else was just you do what you got to do. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that it didn't exist. It doesn't mean it wasn't everywhere. Right. I think my dad tells a story about how when he would grow up, they would feed like the husbands first, and then they would feed like the kids, and then like the woman would eat. And my dad like is kind of the opposite. Like, of course, when he was younger, I'm sure he had moments, but now it was always like the kids are going to eat first. We're going to serve the kids. And then and I do that, I'm like, everybody's going to eat around me before we do it. But those types of things that our parents saw, and even some of us saw growing up, that's machismo, where you feel like you have to, because they're the breadwinner, they have to be the ones that are served first, which is nonsense.
And that's so funny you bring that up because like growing up, my mom was the complete, like she was almost against that. Right. She was like, and it's a kind of like a running joke, especially with my dad's side of the family.
Yeah, because they're more they're first gen, right? All them.
Yes. Yeah, because my grandparents. Yeah, they're my dad and his siblings.
Your tios are first gen.
Yeah. So my mom was definitely the one that she'd be like,
that is a grown ass man.
Right. He ain't got legs. Right. Like, he can no hands. Like what is wrong with him? Because like my tias and my tias and tios would be like, oh, you're not gonna serve Juan. Yeah. And then my mom would be like, no, what's wrong with him?
And you know what the reaction would usually be? Then why did he get married? Oh, that's what not to say your family's doing this, but that's what the reaction in their head is.
Probably,
the reaction in the head is, why did he get married if he's not having anybody that's there to serve him?
Yeah.
Child.
I'm like, that's why I'm like that with my husband
now you serve your husband. I see you. You don't do anything unless he's well fed and ready to go. You won't leave the house. You make his breakfast every morning. Damn, you really fell into those gender roles.
I'm like, I barely cook.
Yeah.
He definitely don't cook, but I do not serve that man.
I think for me also too, there was a lot of pressure to hide. A lot of pressure to hide certain aspects of yourself. And for me, I didn't feel like I felt like femininity was exclusive to women or girls, and masculinity was exclusive to women and girls.
Yeah.
I mean to boys and men.
Right.
And so I felt, even though there were, like we've talked about it, how I used to sing Selena, I used to do all things that were very feminine, right? That I used to do that. I always, as I got older, and I think a lot of that comes from our environment, because there was a lot. How many times do you hear people tell kids like, "Don't be a wuss"?
Yeah,
or
all
like
the time.
Man up. You're like, what are you teaching them?
Right. Get back up. Like if a boy falls, like, oh, get back up. You're fine.
Right. Or don't cry. Don't cry. You're okay. I remember one time when I was in when I played football. I'm just masculine. When I played football and we lost one of our playoff games, one of our teachers was like, "Y'all don't cry. Like you're gonna look weak." Was what one of our teachers told us.
How old were you?
We were in high school, so it was like 16, 17. But
even then,
like our careers were ending, right? Like our football careers were ending.
Oh yeah, so it was an emotional time.
Yeah, and they were like,
Plus
don't cry. Right? they're like, don't cry, because like it's gonna make you look weak. And so those are things. But those are things that we hear in environments everywhere. That we're hearing at home. That we hear.
Yep.
And like I said, I don't think I ever saw my parents cry when I was younger. Now my mom can't keep it in. I'm like, you see, sis, that's what happens. That is what happens.
Everyone's all over here like,
my dad, my dad too. My dad too. I never saw my dad cry until I was much older, and so it was it's actually funny because my cousins who watch the show, I'm sure they'll remember this, but there was like a running joke about me when I was younger that I didn't know how to cry. I didn't know how to cry. Yeah, like even as a baby, they're like, Kendrick does not know how to cry. Like I couldn't, like the tears wouldn't come out, and I don't know, I just didn't have that emotional regulation, I guess.
Like even as an infant, like you
not like as an infant, but like as a toddler. Like as I started to get older, they were like, anytime that I would need to cry about something, they would say he doesn't know how to cry. And so as I got older, it was like a complex. I was like, do I like not know how to cry? It didn't last very long because now I'm a crybaby.
Girl, I was gonna say, are you working against it now?
No, I'm actively working against it. But it is that, like, I don't hide my tears from anybody or anything. Like it's because I know there's so many people around me that feel like they can't cry, or like
not me.
You know me, I cry for like if I'm happy too.
Right.
You know how many times this podcast has made me cry? I'm crying about something every week.
I'm surprised you're not crying right now.
I know. We just did. That's why you missed it. I was crying earlier.
Today?
but I've discovered that it's one of my ways of showing who I am. But I think the crying part is a big part of that sort of machismo belief that we're supposed to be in a box and act a certain way. And for me, I'm like, I'm trying to break all of that, which is something that it's sad because it's a lot of it. We'll go into it in the next segment, but there's a lot of the same things that we're talking about in the gay culture. And I think that we've brought it over. I think we've brought it over and created, because when gay culture started to grow and has started to grow even more recently, in recent years, you're creating a new space. There's no rule book or anything. Right. And for us to bring those things, that toxic masculinity in is tough, but
sorry, y'all.
Anything else about growing up?
Yeah. I think also, as growing up, the whole mental health aspect, and I think it's very generational. Where like
that's machismo too, though.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But like
you're like, that's why I'm bringing it up.
Right. We are intertwining a lot of episodes.
That's the
name
of the episode. Well, because it's so much of machismo is so much about our growing up.
Right. Yeah. Yes. And even now, like I will hear some individuals, and I think, and we've definitely talked about it, of like. On the mental health episode and like going to therapy and everything, like the older generations are like, that's not anxiety. Like you just need to get over it, or like be silent about it, or like you don't have those issues. Like those are just made up in your mind. Like if you don't talk about it, it's not there. Right. That's not how it works.
Or you're supposed to self-regulate. You can handle it yourself. You're supposed to sit down and think about it and really, really kind of help.
And I absolutely got that growing up, as far as like the not necessarily knowing how to regulate some of my emotions.
Yeah.
That makes me sound like very like chaotic.
No, but it's not that. You are chaotic, but it doesn't. doesn't anxiety come from that? And sometimes,
Yes,
because you're frustrated or you're anxious about the fact that you can't regulate your emotions.
Exactly, and I think that's why I have really bad anxiety right now because early on,
right now, like where we're talking,
no, in life.
Oh, okay. I was like, maybe we can take a break.
No, I'm like you're shaking. No, I feel fine right now. Actually, this is like this is like a comfort area for me.
Me too.
Like this is probably like one of the things I like where we break the machismo.
Oh, big time. That's why we
like.
I mean, that was one of the reasons why we
we're like that's why we're here.
Yeah, that was sort of it's very core to what we're doing here because can you imagine? We talked about it before. Can you imagine straight men having a podcast like this?
Right.
Straight Latino men having a podcast like this, where they talk about like we talked about it on in the love episode and like how we had
our conversation.
Right. How they wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been able to show the love to each other.
Exactly. And I think that's also like we are actively breaking that.
Yeah.
And I love that because now I'm very into like my therapy journey and journaling and like
you got no choice, baby.
That part too. But also like I want to be better. Like I want to be better. And then should Roger and I decide to have children or grow our family, like I want to make sure I'm my best self first and foremost. Because
break the generational
breaking
curses.
this shit.
Breaking it. Right. I think one thing too that I want folks to understand and sort of take away from this is that machismo affects everybody.
Everybody around.
It affects everybody in your family. It affects little girls. It affects little boys. It affects men. It affects women. It affects everybody. Everybody is adversely affected by this.
Right.
And some more than others. Right. And in certain situations, gay men, I think, are disproportionately affected by it.
Right.
But it affects everybody. So it's a part of everybody's responsibility to make sure that we're doing things to dismantle this awful kind of cultural thing we have going on with us.
Breaking it.
Yeah.
We're starting here.
Yeah. But another thing too, I think, thinking about growing up too, I used to notice it because all of my cousins, when we were younger girls, my girl cousins who are now women, they would have to take breaks from like playing to go like do the dishes or like help cook.
Oh,
and like, especially the ones whose fathers were from Mexico. They were the ones that had to kind of take a break from playing or like hanging out so that they could help.
They can go do their chores.
And no. Like we were like all having like a family dinner, like a massive barbecues or stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They would, I mean, I remember a cousin like stopping what she's doing to go like make tortillas. Like, and she throws down though. And I don't think hers was more a machismo thing. I think she just got really good at it. But
yeah. And they're like, we want them.
Right. But I'm saying like, I remember specifically one set of cousins who all watched the show. I love them to death. But they would actually like have to split from like the group to go like do. But the men, if they would, and I know for a fact they're all girls, but I know for a fact if there would have been a boy in the mix, he wouldn't have had to.
They could have kept playing football.
Right.
So or whatever it was.
You see that dynamic, and as you're growing up, it affects everybody.
Oh yeah, and like you said, it affects everybody, and it's whether or not it's something that is said or it's just like the act of doing things.
Yeah,
like the whole serving your spouse. If the woman is serving the man first, like things like that.
Well, and then you grow up thinking that's the right way.
Exactly, and the only way.
Yeah, you grow up thinking that's the right way, and you end up being and it does something to your mind. It gives you a false sense of confidence as a young boy that you can treat women a certain way because of these things. So when people are like, I don't know why this is stronger in certain communities than it isn't in others, it's because of machismo. And we'll be back. Hey everyone, just a quick reminder. If you're watching, don't forget to like the video. And if you're listening, leaving us a review goes a long way. But honestly, the biggest way you've helped us grow so far is by sharing the show. So if you're loving it, send it to someone that you think would love it too. Now back to the show. Cool. All right. Well, we are back. I really wanted to talk about how the gay world has machismo as well, and the toxic masculinity that runs deep within the gay world.
How deep?
I think a lot of gay men, specifically Latino gay men, have escaped machismo in our own cultures just to rebuild it in the gay community.
Girl, they walking across
because we're seeing it. And they're bringing it. They're like unpacking. They're like, oh, we get to be superior to somebody,
right? And
I think that's what it is. I think it's the superiority.
The dominance.
Everybody wants someone to look down on. especially in the gay community.
Yeah.
There's always that in the gay community. So we wanted to talk a little bit about that. We know that there are a lot of allies that watch the show. So we're going to do some explaining to, help you understand it a little bit better. But I think one of the biggest ways that it shows up is sort of the mask for mask culture. And for those of you who don't know,
what does that mean?
Yeah,
Kendrick?
sometimes you'll see it on dating apps, or this is probably where you see it the most common, is like on dating apps. And I think because of some of the hate against it, rightfully so, you're not seeing it as much, but it doesn't mean it's not there anymore.
Right.
But mask for mask is when a masculine man or a man who thinks he's masculine wants to only be attracted or wants attraction from only other masculine men, right? Yeah. I keep saying that. If everybody wants to be the girl, who can be the boy? You don't know what that's from?
Where is that from?
Kaya, it's from a Kaya clip.
Oh,
where she's like, I keep saying that. If everybody's going to be the girl, who's going to be the boy?
I've never heard that.
And it's really weird because it comes in when people say it, no one's ever told you that, right?
No.
You haven't dated in a really long time.
It's been 14 years.
But even when you did date, there weren't apps, right?
There were.
No, but not Tinder. I'm talking about apps where people were actually trying to court each other.
No. Not Tinder. I think that at that point,
just Grindr?
Grindr was a thing.
Right.
But I feel also,
I've heard.
So I've heard. But I also feel like, what's the main one?
It depends what you want.
I don't know why Hinge is coming to mind. Or Bumble.
Hinge and Bumble are new. They're after me. They're after I was dating.
Got it. Okay. I forgot what was around back then. But no, I was never on the apps. But I also never experienced that.
So no one has ever asked you if you were masked.
Right.
They didn't have to.
I think they just look at me.
Yeah. They didn't have to.
And I'm okay with that.
They look
I'm breaking these stereotypes.
They're like, he didn't have no choice.
They're like that. Sir, it's burning already.
It's burning already. You better get that checked out. You only had Grindr back in the day? But anyway, so there's a lot of that in the gay community. When people ask me that, or they have asked me that in the past, like even when I was dating, when they would ask, are you masked?
Yeah.
It would really piss me off because I'm like, what are you? Because they probably have a different definition of masculine than I do. And that's the part that would piss me off. Because I'm like, if you're saying that, and then when you meet them and you're like, you're actually not masked at all.
Like you're femme.
Which is fine.
Right.
Which is completely fine.
Right.
Do you find masculine men who are like completely masked? We've talked about this in the straight episode in attraction.
Yeah.
We don't have a particular attraction to them.
Right. Not because they're straight.
To me, the more feminine, the better.
Yeah. I do like femininity in men. And I think also like one thing that I feel like does this, I'm going to go a little tangent, but one thing that does to me that makes straight men attractive is their feminine side.
Yes, when they
like,
lean in.
If they're crying or like if they're expressing their emotions, I'm like,
so crying is associated to femininity for you.
I just did it.
Wow.
I just did it myself.
You see that machismo, y'all?
I'm trying to break it, y'all.
Oh.
I'll be honest. I am guilty of doing it
for
too.
me, I'm like, real men cry.
Yeah.
Real men cry and wear pink.
Right.
Yeah. Now, do you feel that way about yourself or about others as well? Both.
As far as
the part that you're trying to unlearn, you're saying you're trying to unlearn
for both.
It's for both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that crying part, like I said earlier, like the crying to me was I think this is an association that I built in my head because it was never told to me. Like, men don't cry, or like, don't cry because that's going to make you weak. I was never like verbally told that, but like in my head, but from my parents, but in my head, I think I associated that. And so I'm trying to unlearn that as far as like, if I cry, I cry. Like, what if?
Yeah.
What about it?
There's also a lot of femphobia in the gay community.
Yeah.
A lot. And I'm like, for what? For me, those are the most free people in the community.
Right.
The ones that you can just tell that they love themselves in a way that is different than the rest of us. And I love femininity. It just,
me too.
Especially in men.
And there are, I will be honest, there are times where I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. Or like, I wish I could. I'm trying to think of like an actual example.
I was going to say, what do you not do?
Meanwhile, I'm like this.
Yeah.
No, but, and like I painted my nails before, but I'm trying to think of like an example. And I've definitely, I have changed and I've evolved in that sense. Like I wouldn't have worn something like this 10 years ago for sure.
Got it.
But like also like painting my nails, I wouldn't have done. It took me a while to get there, but like things like that, like I have actively unlearned. But I really appreciate someone who is feminine. Yeah. Period. Like I just love that they're able to be free about themselves, express themselves in a certain way, however they feel most comfortable. But I also know that I have learning to do.
Yeah,
for sure.
Do you ever tell people around you though? Like, don't do that because it's going to make you look this way?
I have never told.
I've had to make my husband unlearn that. There's been times where he's like, "Ay, te ves bien jota." And
you? Or he's told you that?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I've had to be like, come here.
We ain't doing that.
We're gonna have a seat. We're gonna talk about
with
this.
his full face on.
With the full face of makeup on. I'm like, I can show
I
you
love
his
you,
little
Betsy.
I can show you his little makeup stand, and you'd be like, what the hell? Like, he had a full face of makeup. Like, you're really gonna like
gonna
looking
tell
like
me
Bozo
that?
the Clown, like about to tell me something.
Not Trixie.
I know.
No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I've had to make him say, because I think because he was born in Mexico, he has a lot of more of those associations where I've had to tell him like, hey, this isn't okay.
And I feel for him, it runs deep.
Yeah.
Like deeper than we have probably experienced.
Yeah. And I know it's a reaction to what he was told and,
Correct.
and what he's experiencing.
Correct.
But, and it's okay. It's not to say that everybody has to believe the same way you do, but
Yeah.
it's okay for us to have these conversations with the people that we love.
Right.
So that they can unlearn these things that they're constantly hearing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And going back to I wanted to go back because I don't know if you explained or talked about it enough, but like the mask for mask, when that happened to you, like what usually happened, or like when they showed up, or like were they
were not masked.
And I say showed up, that sounded very weird.
I mean, that's what happened.
Or like when I went out for a date or whatever.
No, when they showed up.
We won't explain that.
This is a long time ago. This is like it was when I was in Houston. This is like in Houston when I was living by myself. But yeah, about 7 or 8 years ago. But it was always, I know that's what their attraction was, but there are other ways to say that. There are other ways to say that. And I'm also not saying that gay men should all be attracted to feminine men or to feminine men or men who are more flamboyant. I'm not saying that either. What I'm saying is that we have to stop spewing out this hate from our mouths about men who are more feminine. Right. Because, for me, those are the freest people in the community.
Oh, yeah. They really are, because those are the ones that really, to me, that they know exactly who they are. Yeah, they know exactly what they want, and they're usually incredibly resilient and strong because it was harder for them to hide it growing up. Right. So they're like ready. Right. They're ready to give out. I think that for me too, that's probably where my defense mechanisms come from. Is from those times of like having to defend myself quickly growing up. Yeah. Which is really interesting also because when I think about growing up, I think about I'm back, like how you said you would sing Selena and like you were given that space. And me, I was playing with Barbies. Yeah. And now here I am, not able to cry. Right. Well, Barbie didn't cry. They would have had Barbie get you a little wet doll. They should have. I should have drew tears on that on Barbie. All my Barbie did was piss herself, but she didn't cry. What are we teaching people? What are we teaching kids? Yeah. We really need to stop bringing that masculinity into the queer space. Yeah. Do you feel, on the topic of toxic masculinity, though, specifically within the gay community, do you feel like a need to look a certain way in the gay community? Not really. As you're sitting here with your tits out and your arms out and your nipples showing, it's the whole thing. I know are my nipples hard today? No, they're fine. They're fine. I see more hair than anything. Oh my gosh. I love your hair. Thank you. Anyway, go on. Yeah. Even that, like my hair for a while, I don't know. Yes, we have talked about this. Just recently, I have been more comfortable with my body hair. You're welcome. Thank you. You're helping me break that wall down. Yeah, and I keep saying break that. Was it that part? I really don't know. Actually, even like as I think about it right now, this is the first time I'm actually thinking about if there's a connection between the femininity. Well, I feel like there's an internal battle though. Like there definitely was. I feel like when it comes to your body, you don't want to appear masculine. You don't. That's not a priority for you at all. Right. That really is. Yeah, because like even my legs, like I'll trim. But emotionally, it is. Yes. So yes. Oh my God. You are my therapist. No, we just have a lot of these conversations, which is why it's important. And I think that in and of itself is how we're actually breaking down the barriers that machismo has built, whether it's in whether it is in the Latino or the queer space. Mm-hmm. But like these conversations, because like I used to not really like my body hair, but I liked it on others. Yeah, and then now I'm just like, I don't mind it on my chest, but like I definitely have to groom and like all that myself because there's a certain limit that I have. Yeah, but that's more like because you're lazy. I think that's probably why you leave it now. You're just too lazy to shave. But on that though, on the things that is also true. on the things that we see in the Latino community too, there's also a lot of like top bottom stereotypes. Oh, right. Yes. So for those of you who don't know, like I said before, we realize we need to probably be doing a lot of explaining because I call Jake a bottom every episode and people probably don't know what that means. Right. And then they're gonna look it up. They're like, oh, he's lying. Right.
About what? Child, let me explain this so y'all can laugh too. But the top partner, usually in a relationship or any sort of interaction between men and men,
same sex.
there's usually a top partner and a bottom partner, and the top is the insertive partner. What's the medical term?
Insertive, yeah.
Yeah, and the insertive partner, and then the bottom is the receptive partner.
Correct.
And in the community, there are a lot of stereotypes about having to be one thing over the other. But I think the beautiful thing about being queer is that you don't have to choose.
You don't have to pick.
But that doesn't mean that those stereotypes don't exist, right? Like,
if you saw me,
bottom.
what would you? Are you bringing the machismo into the queer space?
No, I'm talking about reality. I'm being.
Are you bringing the machismo
no,
into the queer space?
No. This is called critical. This isn't even critical thinking. This is like base level understanding. This is like
this is common sense.
This is like kindergarten. Like which one of these is missing? Which one of these was here that wasn't here earlier? That's what this is.
You're like insert the star into the cube that looks like a star.
Right. And bing.
Up with the circle.
Right. But there are a lot of stereotypes that come with that.
Yeah, a lot.
And say that you have to act a certain way.
That tops are superior.
Right. Which is weird. It takes way more to be a bottom than it does to be a top.
That is actually that is facts.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Now that I literally just put it together, and this is going to sound like very basic, but like even for like men and women.
What you mean?
Women, like I feel like women are so much stronger than men.
Oh, they have to deliver children. Yeah.
Bottoms got a douche. I was not comparing the two because those are two vastly different things. What I'm saying is that that was really bad.
So you give birth daily. You give birth daily. What do you mean to say is if you want to do it well, you have to protect yourself and make sure that your body is healthy.
You have to do more.
Yeah.
In comparison with the top.
Right.
Just like women. Like women are in my head, women are superior to men every day.
All day. Their bodies are just like magic.
Amazing.
When I think about a woman's body, and not to say just because they're delivering children, because women who don't deliver children are just as powerful,
strong. Yeah.
But I think about that often because I think women are they do way more. Even their pain tolerance. Because do you have a high pain tolerance?
I do.
It's because you're a bottom. Is that too much? Are you gonna cut this? Are you gonna cut this?
No.
You're what?
I'm verse. For those of you who don't know what verse is.
Oh yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, because verse is actually another term, and verse is where you can either insert or you can receive.
Yeah.
As far as the penetration. But,
yeah. And maybe this is where I say it. I'm your favorite top's favorite top. And what are you?
Verse.
You're my favorite bottom's favorite bottom. But I think we need to talk about these things more because I think a lot of people don't talk about sex, and it's a very normal part of life.
It is everything. Like
everybody
not everything. I meant to say like everybody does it.
No, and he swears he's verse. He swears.
I'm your favorite bottom's favorite bottom.
But we give each other shit because we don't have complexes about. We don't have the top bottom complex at all.
Right.
At all. We both think that both things have they each have their own purpose.
Right.
And
we are equal.
Are both beautiful in their own ways.
Equal. Yeah.
But in the gay community, there is that, right? That
there's absolutely that. Yeah.
Do you think there are more bottoms or tops in the gay community?
Bottoms.
Really? What makes you think that?
I don't know. I just feel like sometimes
there are, but I'm just wondering.
I think because I've heard that.
Yeah.
Like I've never heard.
I keep saying, who's going to be the boy? I mean, if everybody wants to be the girl, who's going to be the boy?
I need to see this so I can know the reference because I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
But I think it's because I've heard it so many times. Like, there's so many, what is the phrase I've heard before? Like all the bottoms are fighting for one top or something like that.
Yeah, it goes back to one of the original things that we talked about in the show about competition. How we're all fighting for the same thing. Yeah. There is a lot of competition in the gay world. And I think it's that too. It's like almost like a scarcity thing of like wanting to, it's a scarcity thing.
Damn, we are in an epidemic.
That is no.
That's how I heard you say it.
We need more. No, what I mean by scarcity is like when there's a limited number that you feel that's in the pool for you. Yeah. It's actually behavioral science, but go off.
It took me to epidemiology.
But
That's not even the correct term.
That is something that we see in the gay community, which is why we felt it was important to talk about.
Right.
Because there are those beliefs that tops are somehow superior, but I don't know any top that's superior besides me.
Let's rewind a couple minutes ago
Why?
When we're talking about trying to break stereotypes, bringing machismo into the queer space.
But my machismo's like gone. I don't have machismo. What's something of machismo that you do? The most. What's the most machismo thing that you do?
Probably not cry.
I don't know.
But
it's not mine. Do you know mine?
But it's not necessarily because I'm aware. I'm very self-aware of it. So I feel like that's a level that like.
Yeah, but keeping it down is machismo.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm aware of it. So like I'm trying to break it.
So you're at step 2.
Huh?
You're like,
exactly.
I'm at step 2. Step 1.
Exactly.
But
for you,
what
do you do that's machismo? You say you're your top's favorite top.
I am. Ask your favorite top. Who their favorite top is.
Roger hasn't had sex with you.
I'm still his favorite top.
I'm trying to think. I can't really think.
I don't think I do, but I actively dismantle it in my life. I'm out there looking at what I can dismantle. Of that, and there has to be something. I'm gonna have to think about it in a second.
Like something that you do.
It's not something that I do, but it might be the cultural norms. Like the having a role in a relationship. I like that.
Having a role.
Yeah. But
is it more like, cause like I see what you're saying.
Right.
But I can.
I know where you're going.
Like I do the dishes. That's my role.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, and Roger does the clothes.
But you don't serve your man at all, right?
Hell no.
See, I love serving my man. I love serving y'all.
But you say it as a role. Like, I want to serve.
Yeah.
It's not because you know you have to.
Right.
It's because you want to.
It's like the priesthood. I was called to serve.
Damn. La mother. That's all I can think about. Like, woo.
But
we should have a priest on here one day.
You know what I want? I'll have to bring this on, but I have someone in mind for that I want to bring on.
I think I know who you're talking about.
I've talked to you about this person.
Yes, and from St. Mary's, from school. Yeah,
yes, and I have been thinking about that a lot. Yeah, and I'm thinking soon. But anyway, we digress. But it is something that we deal with a lot in Latino community. But cool, we're back.
All right, we are. And we ended on a lot of the things that we have, the machismo in the Latino community, also the queer community. Mm-hmm. But I want to transition into like some of the things that we're actually doing to unlearn it or to like rewrite the system.
To rewrote it?
To rewrote it.
I have a question for you though. As we dive in.
Okay. Yeah.
So is there a moment when you feel most masculine?
Oh. There are two different things are coming to my mind right now. Mm-hmm. It's going to sound very machismo.
I've only felt masculine twice in my life.
No, one of them is like at the gym.
Okay.
There's something about like I feel masculine or like machismo or masculine more so.
Okay.
And then also like when I do something very good, like if I succeed or finish a project or like just things like that. Like, and it doesn't necessarily, I'm telling you, like,
cut the cameras.
I got a lot of learning to do.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's also just like I just love, and maybe it's also like they help because I'm in healthcare. Whenever I do something like that, it feels good to like know that I'm helping someone or a community or something of that nature. Like,
but where does the association with masculinity come in with that?
I just feel like powerful.
Okay, so it's a power thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say that I'm like this because I'm.
It's okay. You can.
Well, I say it because I'm also like
You're understanding.
I am the problem.
Yeah. Is it?
Or I feel like the problem.
Is it? Yeah, you are. It's the powerful, but success too.
Yes, this is the success too.
Because your success is so tied to your the way that you feel powerful.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. And I got a lot of unlearning to do.
Yeah.
But I think also, I mean, it's just like as it relates to the successes that happen, whether it's, I mean, for example, like if I get a grant, I'm like, that's like I love that. Like I'm just like, yes, like now we can do something else, or we can give it back to the community in a specific way. Like when I opened Apollo, I'm like, oh my God, like that feeling.
Why couldn't
makes
that
me
be
just feeling like,
why couldn't that be feminine?
I don't know.
Huh.
I'm not saying it can't. It definitely cannot.
I'm just saying it's not with me.
Right. I'm just saying with me,
Yeah.
it just feels like masculine.
Huh.
And it's definitely those learned ideas and that learned, internalized
Wow.
machismo culture. And I recognize
I'm
that.
glad we're starting this show. We got a lot to unpack. We can't,
I recognize
we
that.
might have to have a part 2. A part 2.
We might have a segment 4, 5.
Yeah. That's
But
really interesting.
What about you?
For me, when have I felt the most masculine, or
Yeah,
when do I
do you feel
I,
most masculine?
I can also think too about when I felt the most masculine. I never felt more masculine than the very first time I kissed a guy.
Oh.
I know that sounds weird, but for me, it was, especially the time after that, was the first time that I didn't have to force my masculinity. Because up to that point, I spent my entire life forcing my masculinity, that I didn't even know what was my true character, and me trying to be straight.
Oh, so it was like opening like a new door.
Yeah,
Or like your new chapter
I was able
of,
to
like, being
identify.
yourself.
Yeah, I was able to identify what is really me and what's not.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually glad you said that. One of the things that's popped in my mind was like being at the altar, like getting married.
Oh, you felt really masculine?
I think I did. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that moment, it was more, I was just so excited. Like,
yeah.
like it was so much love.
Yeah.
And I feel like that itself, not even just love between my husband and I, but like everybody there was very intentional on being there. Like we were probably one of the first gay marriages that they went to. And so with that, like that pride and that power, and not saying that like I had the power to get them there, but like that power of knowing like that people loved me for who I was, I think was was not you saying that kind of brought that to my head.
Yeah. I that was definitely it. But I think now we asked a question earlier and I just had the answer. You asked earlier, when does the machismo come out the most for me?
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty obvious once I tell you what I just thought of. I think like my fight or flight mode is very machismo. Yes or no?
What happened yesterday?
Girl, I'll be fighting everywhere. I will but I think that's probably where it exemplifies this up or shows the most with me.
Is it?
Think about it. Yeah, raising your fists.
That's machismo?
Yes. The show of strength.
Even when it's to like women?
To me, it was to everybody. What do you mean raise it to women? I'm sounding
Not
like I'm out here domestic abuse.
That does sound like that. No, but like yesterday, like when you got
it's
upset,
with everybody.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think I'm having a disconnect as it relates to that being because like the fight or flight to me.
The show of strength is the issue. Where I feel like I have to, my first reaction is to show strength and show superiority.
Oh, okay.
My first reaction to the anger is that.
Yep.
That's machismo.
I see it.
That's toxic masculinity.
I see it.
Yeah.
Just let him hit you, girl.
You know.
Let him bump you.
Right. I'm trying to think of where, but it was like, and even with women, I've had it happen before too, where I'm like having a disagreement with women because they're like drunk at the club or something.
Right.
And I'll tell their husbands like, I can't hit them, but I can hit you. So move, y'all get out of here. Yeah. And so I know that's an issue.
Oh,
I just thought about that. Yeah. But
see, we got a lot of unlearning.
We're gonna be out here learning.
But I think also a part of it is also knowing. Yeah. That because I feel like one aspect of machismo is not knowing or like sorry, I added an I. Machismo is the like denial. Like of like, no, this is just who I am. Like,
but doesn't it get more toxic when they know and they're actively fighting against it? I think it's both. I think sometimes they know, like you know. That doesn't mean it's not machismo.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like, what am I trying to say? I feel like a part of like the machismo culture is kind of like the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. Yeah. That. Yeah. As it relates to being machismo.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
like,
you're right.
Of like, oh no, that's not me. Yeah. That's just the way the culture is. Yeah. And like,
that's just life. That's the world we're living in.
Like you're literally,
you are the culture.
You're literally doing it. Right.
Yeah. Are there some things about machismo or masculinity that you learned that you think are positive things that you want to keep?
I think pride. Like,
yeah, for
like
me, it's the
just being-
confidence.
yeah, like the confidence of just being yourself.
Yeah.
Like it, and we're meshing that, right? Like the machismo side, and then like the complete opposite of that, like the femininity.
Right.
We are actively trying to go against it, but also like just having that pride
Yeah.
of like I can be feminine, I can paint my nails and be fully confident.
Yeah.
And I love that. I have as far as like paint my nails.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you asking?
I'm asking you, can you paint your nails and feel fully feminine? That's a good segue into what I want to talk about.
Oh yeah. No, I can definitely paint my nails and still feel completely feminine, confident, and just like being like, okay, I'm here. Like even especially if it's at work.
Yeah.
My mind goes to work first of like, can I have my nails painted at work? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I have.
I want them to tell me something.
Oh, I wish they would.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish somebody would tell me.
Yeah.
I'm like, my mom tells me all the time. I'm like, Mom.
But what did she say?
She's like, why do you have your nails painted?
Why not?
Thank you.
Oh.
My mom has told me that.
In response to that, what did she say?
She's like, oh, well, you're not supposed to have him. Like,
What?
she's definitely, I'm a boy.
Oh. She's like, I keep saying that. If everybody wants to be the girl, who will be the boy?
I now know where that's from.
During the break, so he knew what I was talking about. But
Yes.
I think the strength too, but in a different way, is something that I want to keep from masculinity that you see often and you see a lot. For me, it's because I want to keep that strength, but not in the same definition that you see in the Latino community. It's not strength is not being self-reliant or not asking for help. No,
Right.
No. Strength is very different. It is for asking for help in different ways of showing that. So I think it's interesting too. But another thing though, I think just like growing up, I think about all the things recently I've unlearned about femininity for myself and masculinity, because there were certain things I would never do. And which is why I wanted to wear this shirt, because I would never before, when I was like stuck in the machismo, like toxic masculinity phase, I would never wear something like this. I would never get my nails painted.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I feel like I do it all the time.
Yeah, you do more than me.
Yeah, and it's almost a protest to me to that person I used to be.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so there's things like that. My earrings, I just got my ears pierced 3 years ago, and
Since I've known you,
and I don't take them out. I don't take them out for that reason. It's a part of me reclaiming who I am. That I can be all the things that make me feminine and still be masculine in that way.
Yeah.
And I think there are some things that I do that are really masculine, but there are also some things that I do that are really feminine. Like that's just how I am.
Oh, that's definitely me. And like, I mean, I have my ears pierced. I don't wear them enough now, but I mean, I got mine when I was like 18.
Yeah.
Like super, like in high school, or I was just finishing high school, I think. And I think I actually got it just like how you said.
As an
like,
act of protest?
Yeah. Cause I'm like, no, like, yes, I'm a guy, but I can still have earrings. And what?
Right.
Like, and what? But I'll never forget when my mom saw me and then she was like, what did you do? And I was like, I got my ears pierced. And
Yeah.
I was 18, because at that point I was just like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm 18.
Well, don't come home.
Right. Right. Again. That's where it really all started.
Just throwing it all out there. Just throwing it all out there. But no, there's certain, like I said, even on the show, I remember like the way that we sit. Right. Like I'm being told all the time, like men don't sit this way. And I'm like, this man does now. Now it's like seeing it too. And I remember when we first started the show, people commenting on the way that I was sitting, and like people in my family not meaning it in any way, but I knew that that's what it was rooted in, or like that my legs were always showing. And I could feel, I'm like, and I would specifically like dig it out of them, and they would realize it and say, okay, I'm just not going to talk about this anymore. Like,
wait, they would tell you something about the way you were sitting?
Yeah. Like,
I didn't know this.
The way that we're sitting, but it was in a way that is like asking it, and they didn't realize that it was really toxic to ask that. So it was almost like a walk back. So I'm like, you know what? You can, in that case, you can learn by yourself. You can be self-sufficient in your learning. Another thing too, which is I think has to do with our femininity in general, or masculinity, is growing up, and up until very recently, I did not like the sound of my own voice.
Me, I still don't to this day. There are moments where I'm like,
and why? Because of the accent?
Yeah, yep. Or where like I sound. Has it happened to you when you're at a drive-thru and they're like, "Yes, ma'am"? And I'm
not in a while. Not in a while. I think because
me either.
I think because now you code switch. I don't code switch. But that's why, because I don't. There was for a long time where I didn't know the sound of my own voice. I didn't know.
And now here we are.
No, but what I'm saying is I didn't know what was really me. You know what I mean? Like which voice was really me.
Got it.
Until I really started thinking about it and saying seems most natural and what is. So the voice that you all are hearing right now, this is my natural voice.
Yeah, this is mine.
And when I'm talking about certain things, I'll go higher and talk like this. But then there's other times where I'm just talking like this. And and they're like, your voice is deeper. Yeah, because I was screaming all day at a Beyonce concert. Like there are reasons why. But I used to not like the sound of my own voice. And I think I know a lot of gays that feel that way.
Yeah.
That do not like the sound of their own voice.
That's me.
I would rather see myself on camera than listen to myself.
Even now? Or you're saying that people... Oh, got it.
Even now.
I'm like, I'll be behind the camera.
And it's now you're in front of the camera. You have to make them believe that you're supposed to be here.
I love that y'all are looking at me right now.
No one said that. No one said that. But so your voice too is the same way?
No, yeah. It's a huge insecurity. And it's an insecurity. Yeah. But like, again, it doesn't mean I won't stop talking.
But I also want, but that's what we want. No, we want you to talk. We want you to talk. You know what I do think? I do think that people will. I think it's one of the things that people listen to and hear. And when we started receiving those comments on social media, on TikTok, I don't know if you've seen those. I've talked to you about those.
Which ones?
Where they're commenting on the sound of our voices.
No.
And yeah, they're commenting on the sound of my voices. And I thought I was gonna have a very different reaction, but it makes me laugh. It's hilarious.
Wait, what do they say? I've never seen it.
It's just that we have really high pitched voices.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What do you say? Our S's are really crisp.
Oh,
what does that mean?
Like when I say you can hear the S's. You heard that at the very end?
Yeah,
S's?
but can't you do that with everybody?
I think it's just very
pronounced.
Yeah. Like even when I say just. That was a little more intentional.
Yeah.
But I think if you actually listen a little bit more, like to the S when I say.
So I'm not listening. Okay.
When I say things like with S's. No, I think you can really see, you can hear it. Like just the S's are more crisp.
Oh, okay.
I think that's
what? What's wrong?
Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But like, because
you said it and I was like, I don't know what this means. I'm just gonna keep going.
I think there's a difference. I think because we like just the way we talk in general, and like I think of like myself and my brother.
Yeah.
Like my brother has a very deep voice. There's some mumbling, but like me, I'm going to speak the way I want to speak.
Yeah.
Not saying you can't understand my brother, but like it's just vastly different.
I know you make him sound like Charlie Brown's teacher.
I know.
Where do you stand now though? Do you consider yourself masculine? Do you consider yourself feminine? Do you consider yourself?
I consider myself both.
I'm an American.
I was born here.
Yeah. Which one comes most naturally?
Ooh, I would say masculine.
Mm-hmm.
Although I want to say feminine. Like I would say masculine, that's my answer. But I would love for it to be feminine.
Yeah.
But I think to your point earlier, it's like those that are more feminine, like they're just so confident in themselves and like they just know exactly what they want. Like they don't care.
And the best part about being queer though is just that we don't have to choose.
Right.
We don't have to choose if we want to be more masculine than we are more feminine. For me, it depends on the day. It depends on what I'm doing.
And that's very true too.
I'm a bottom in the streets and a top in the sheets. That's just what happens.
I love
my femininity. I love it. I love it. I love being out and proud and being exactly who I am. And I'm not trying to be anything else. And that's been the best part of it all.
Yeah.
Is that I've found the most comfort and the most happiness in myself when I'm just letting myself naturally be who I am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think also when I'm able to put on makeup, I enjoy that actually. I enjoy that.
You do
lot.
love a makeup.
Yeah. I don't wear it that often.
No.
But when I do, I really like it. Damn. Damn, y'all. He just called me ugly. Comment below if you think I should wear makeup more.
They'd be like, look at that hat job.
Go look at episode 1.
They'd be like, who painted him?
Look at episode 1 was the only one I wore.
You know what's funny? And I think my husband wears makeup.
Right.
Often.
Yeah. I could never be that level. Just because like
you wouldn't look that good.
I meant it in the sense of like wearing it all the time. Like I'm just like,
well, his is part for work.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think he does it. He has to.
But he also loves it. He also loves it. And so, when I remember when the first time he told me that, and was like, "Are you cool with that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all."
Yeah.
But a lot of people would have an issue. A lot of gay men would have an issue with being with another man who wears makeup.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I
get
just
over it.
I just don't like it. I just don't like it because I'm so messy that I would always like touch it, and like I know myself. I wouldn't be able to maintain it. I wouldn't be able to maintain it. That's why I don't particularly.
But do you mind wearing it? Like if I asked you to wear it one day?
I don't like it.
What if I was like, can you do it for the show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We do it for the show. But we tried to, remember? And then all the lighting was messed up. We have to be in a more controlled space. That's what it is.
That was that time.
Yeah.
That was.
You have to be in more of a controlled space. Yeah. But anyway, you ready to go into Don't Piss Me Off?
Let's go into Don't Piss Me Off. You want to start this time?
Yeah, I can get started. Yeah. For me, Don't Piss Me Off. When it comes to toxic masculinity and machismo in general, especially in the Latino culture, we've got to stop putting gender roles on kids. We've got to. Ooh. I've talked about this before, but we've got to stop putting these gender roles on kids, that they can only play with certain things.
You can only have like G.I. Joe.
Right. They can only do certain things or play certain sports, or they have to do certain things. Yes. All you're doing is putting kids in a box. And I guarantee you, I promise you, we are proof of that. If this is who they are, if they're genuinely like us, none of that is going to make a difference.
Ever.
At all.
Ever.
At all. You know what else I feel the same way about? I have one more, Don't Piss Me Off.
Go for it.
I hate gender reveal parties. I hate them. First of all, they're stupid. They're dumb. Gender reveal parties are dumb. And I know I have a lot of people that have gender reveal parties. Do your thing. But when they're like, cowgirls or cowboys, what is he going to be? Yes. Or what are they going to be? They don't even use they. What is the baby going to be? They could use gender neutral terms, but they just don't.
They choose not to.
They don't. But gender reveals, and they've gotten so over the top. You know, like one of them started a forest fire.
Right.
Gender reveal parties.
Millions of dollars.
Yes.
Billions. Millions, maybe. I know for sure. But
gender reveal parties are ridiculous. Would you ever have a gender reveal party?
No.
If you had one, I wouldn't go. And I would actively call you out. I would actively call you out.
I really wouldn't.
And it wouldn't bother me so much if it wasn't like no, it does bother me. But the box that they're putting them in, right? And the colors.
Oh, right.
Like
right.
it's like
it's blue.
It's blue.
It's pink.
It's pink. And I'm like, joke's on you. I'm a pink cake, but I, was assigned male at birth. But that, yeah.
And to that point too, I feel like it's also interesting to me when like baby clothes are gendered, but like that doesn't bother me. But when it's like, like when it's a boy and it almost like sexualizes it in the sense of like, oh, he's gonna be like my handsome boy,
or like he's future heartbreaker.
Yes, that. But then when you see a girl, it's like, oh, a princess.
Yeah,
or like.
Which is like the damsel of distress kind of like idea. And why movies and media play such a significant role in kids' lives.
Right.
And the way that they see themselves.
Right. Like what if a girl wants to be a paleontologist and she loved dinosaurs all along? Get her a dinosaur shirt.
Okay. Sorry. I was like, where are you going with this?
We can't all be pretty and smart.
No, the example was kind of dumb.
Well, have you ever seen a girl dinosaur shirt?
I've seen you wear one.
Okay, that is fair.
But no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like stuck, like keeping them in a box.
It's very like it's just the culture in general. Like sometimes I'm like, chill.
Yeah. What about you? What's your Don't Piss Me Off?
So my Don't Piss Me Off is when straight men, specifically straight men, I will say, when they're like, oh, you can be gay. I love gay people. Just don't be too gay or don't be too over the top.
Yeah, don't be out there.
Yeah, or like don't do it towards me. Don't put it in my face. And I'm like, bitch, you go to Hooters every other fucking day.
Right. But also to actively say that though, to put that out there, to say like, I would be embarrassed that someone else is affecting my mood that much, and the way that they're presenting themselves is affecting me that much that I have to say something about it is insecurity, toxic masculinity, and the basis of what we're talking about today.
The fragility in their masculine self.
Yep.
Or them as a person. Yep. I'm like, if my being is too much for your safety or whatever you're going through.
Right. That's about you,
yours.
baby.
Yeah, that's your problem. That ain't my problem.
That's about you.
That's about you. Like, I'm sorry that you're so fragile. You can't.
So the straight people that watch this and the straight men that are in your life, make sure that you are calling them out respectfully in a way. Yeah. But it's important to call them out when they're doing that, to say, what is it about that person that bothers you so much? Right. Is it that they're comfortable? Is it because they're expressing in a way that you don't feel comfortable doing in the first place? Because for me, the best type of heterosexual men that are out there are the ones that are so comfortable with themselves that they don't even look at that kind of stuff,
right,
and are not even worried about that. When I see those men, I'm like, oh. And sometimes they have daughters. I'm like, you are raising daughters.
Right.
What do you think they're seeing by that? You're raising sons who can either maybe be like us and have to experience that, or not like us, but you're teaching them how to treat women and the roles that we're supposed to have.
Right.
But if you have daughters, you're teaching them the way that men should treat them and how they should treat themselves. Correct. And so what I want to finish the episode by saying that's what happens with machismo, is that it's affecting all of us. So it's all of our responsibility to make sure that we're butting against that.
Yeah. Toxic masculinity.
We'll just stop right there.
Toxic masculinity, ain't it, y'all?
We'll see you next week.